What's up, everybody? Kamahl here. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, then welcome to the channel. Today, what we're going to be doing in this build guide is looking at a build that I've actually never done a guide on before. It's going to be what many people refer to as the Tesladin. I've always just called it as, or referred to it rather, as the Holy Shock Zealadin. So I'm going to show you my build for it. There are many different variations that you can go with this character, which is what makes it super cool, as with most characters in this game. This one, though, is almost the most friendly, or one of the most friendly builds for extremely successful in-game play with a multitude of different ways that you can actually approach the build. So this is just going to be my build. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into Diablo 2. This is going to be pluggy. This build, as with all of the builds that I'm going to be putting out on here, are done through Hero Editor. So let's hop into the game. Let's look at it. If you like what I'm doing here, as the screen says, like and subscribe, because it really does help a lot. Also share if you can find anyone or know anyone that can find or would find this build interesting, this guide beneficial, this channel interesting or beneficial, all of that stuff. All right, let's get into the game and let's look at the build. So it's the Tesladin. What you're basically doing is you're running around with Holy Shock Aura and you're smacking things with Zeal. How you approach that? Some things are going to be the exact same on every single build. Other things are going to be a bit different. So let's just get into the meat and potatoes. First thing we're going to look at is going to be my Mercenary. I have a tendency to skip the Mercenary and jump into other stuff first, so we'll get the Mercenary out of the way. Dream Corona. Why Dream Corona? Well, because why not? It's more lightning damage, and more lightning damage is more good. There. Enigma. Why Enigma? Well, in order for this character to be able to wear the Corona, she needs a lot more strength. The Enigma gives her not only more strength, but a fair amount of magic find, and it's just overall a good item. Plus, the +2 to all skills does help with the character overall. Faith GMB, this is for the Fanaticism Aura. It increases my personal damage greatly. So that's the Mercenary. What about my gear? Well, we'll look at that in just a moment. The first thing we're going to look at is going to be my attributes. How do you do these attributes? Well, strength, you put enough strength into wear your gear. That's going to be basic with most builds. There are some builds, some random builds that you might want to invest a little bit more into strength if you really want to. But with this build, just enough to wear the gear. Dexterity, there's a couple different ways you can go about it. You can get yourself fully buffed with Holy Shield and then just add dexterity until you have max block, which you should be pretty close to it pretty early on because Holy Shield is extremely strong. I try to go for either 200 dexterity or 5k attack rating with Zeal. Either one, it doesn't really matter. It's a difference of about 9 points. And those 9 points will just bring your attack rating on the Quill Rat up by 1%, so 88% once you hit 5k. Really, it's honestly negligible, so I would get to about 200, call it good, dump everything else in Vitality. You want to get as much life as you can because, well, life is good. If you're dead, you can't kill things. Your resistances will be maxed by the time you put your gear on if you gear out the way that I suggest you do. For the gear, what are we using? Last Wish for the weapon. Last Wish has a fair amount of pretty damn good things that have a chance of casting on hitting the enemy or on being struck, as well as the Might Aura. So that is the Might Aura as well as the Fanaticism Aura, just from the weapons from myself and my Mercenary. Then we have Dream Helmet, Dream Shield. These are both for the Holy Shock Aura. More damage, more good. Fortitude. Fortitude's a really good armor for any melee character, There's a couple different variations you can go. You can use Enigma if you want to. You can use Chains of Honor if you want to. You can do a couple different things if you really want to. Me personally, I like Fortitude. It makes me feel good. High Lord's Wrath is what I use when I'm using Fortitude or Chains of Honor. If I'm going to use Enigma instead of High Lord's Wrath, I'm going to put on Mara's Kaleidoscope, and that way I can max out my resistances. As far as boots go, there's a few different options you can go with. I just go with War Traps. For rings, Bull Kothos and a Ravenfrost is what I go with. That cannot be frozen is absolutely amazing. For the belt, Thunder Gods, it's a good belt for lightning damage. I like it. I like Thunder Gods. It's just a belt that I like to use. You can go with Verdungos if you want. You can go with Arachnids if you want. This is just what I use. I like Thunder Gods. And then for the gloves, we're using Drax. This stuff is all pretty basic. You got a Geeds, some Paladin Combat, Annihilus, and the Torch. Offhand switch, very standard, very basic, Call to Arms, and Spirit. Now, let's look at pretty much the most important and most standard thing on this character, which is going to be the skills. So, defense, I pretty much just max out Resist Lightning, and that's because the Resist Lightning actually increases the damage that your Holy Shock Aura does from your Dream. So, much like on a Sorceress, when you invest points into Lightning Mastery, it increases the Dream's damage. With this build, when you invest points into Resist Lightning, it increases the damage that you do by having Dream on. So, max out Resist Lightning. Obviously not the first thing you max out, but it is something you want to max out. As far as offensive auras go, I just get everything I need to get down to Conviction. I threw a couple extra points in there because I had them, and I just wanted to see if it made any difference whatsoever. Conviction aura, sorry, not max out. You want to get to 25 points buffed. So when you cast your battle commands, you want to be at 25. That way they get negative 150% resistance. At negative 150% resistance, it takes away immunity. So there you go. On this page, you want to put points to get down to Holy Shield. Max out Holy Shield because of the amount of defense that it provides. Extremely beneficial, makes your character extremely tanky, super, super tough. And then you're going to want to max out Sacrifice and Zeal. And once again, this is how I use the character. What makes this build so fun is just, I guess, the overall strength of it. Because you just kind of melt things. You attack super quick, and it just cuts through everything very, very quickly. And it's a lot of fun. Like I said, there's many different ways that you can go with this build. Instead of investing into the Conviction aura, what you could do is you could get a Mercenary. You could get a Mercenary with the Act 2 Mercenary, rather, with the Conviction aura on the Insight. And then instead of you having Conviction aura, you could run, what's it called? Fanaticism yourself. You could increase the Fanaticism and you would be outputting even more damage more quickly. Now, as you can say, this is going ranging anywhere from 2k to 8.4k once the buffs from my Merc and everything goes on. I don't know. I really enjoy this build. I think it's really fun. I think it's really strong. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys actually prefer to do on your builds as far as it goes, rather, when it comes to the Tesladin or the Holy Shock Zealadin, as to what we old school people call it. I don't know. I've only seen, well, no, I guess I've seen a fair amount of people call it a Tesladin. But Holy Shock Zealadin is what I prefer. That's just what I've always known it as. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, share the video if you find somebody that can find this video or know anyone that can find this video beneficial. Like I said, I'm going to be putting out build guides fairly often, up to and then after the release of Diablo 2 Resurrected. Once Diablo 2 Resurrected has been fully released, I will actually be streaming the game with members from my Discord community. We have a few different people that have already gotten set up, and we are very, very excited to be able to progress in the game on PS5. That's where I believe almost all of us are going to be going. I am a PS5 Path of Exile player mostly, primarily, and now that Diablo 2 Resurrected is coming out on PS5, I'll be able to switch over to that. With my hand problems, I can't invest a lot of times into Diablo 2 with mouse and keyboard just because of how much it takes. So that's that. It is what it is. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this video, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.